or whatever it is, like you've got everything ready, you know how much you're going to be eating, you know your calorie count, all this stuff. And then you realize, oh man, I can't have this or that anymore. So you're kind of feeling restricted. Maybe you've brought your calories down or whatever it is, and then you feel like you're depriving yourself of something, and you notice you're hungry. You're hungry like more than you think you should be, right? Because I don't know if you're anything like me, but when you're told you can't have something, even if you haven't had it in 800 years, you want it. And then you start to crave things, and then you give in. You completely give in, like because the weekend happens, life happens, or maybe just Wednesday happens. Because sometimes this gets old by Wednesday, right? Like it's really exciting, you've got your plans already, and then you give in, and you have these feelings of guilt and shame, and then you fall off the wagon. How many times? How many wagons do you have to fall off of, and how many times do you have to fall off of them and shame yourself over and over and over again? This is like the shame cycle, not the diet cycle. So have you ever had that happen? Right? And then you get to this point where not only do you feel this guilt, but because it happens again and again and again, and you're like, I suck, I'm never going to lose weight, I'm a failure, I'm no good, I'll just start again on Monday. And then Monday freaking comes, and those same damn 10 pounds are hanging on like they've been hanging on forever, and you start with more restrictions and more depriving of yourself of things because you gave into cake, so I'm never having cake again. And it just keeps going over and over and over and over again, and sometimes leads to an eating disorder. Not saying it always does, but we look at food in a negative way with this. We seriously do. So what if you approached it with a non-diet approach? What if you didn't restrict yourself so much? What if you went into it with the right intentions? Instead of changing a number on a scale or losing those last damn 10 pounds that you've been trying to lose for 10 years, which has now become 50 pounds or whatever it is, instead of looking at it that way, instead of shaming yourself, if we looked at it in a more mindful eating, intuitive eating, a body acceptance type of thing, where you actually quit hating on yourself and quit having negative feelings towards restriction of food. What if you looked at it as like, hey, I can actually enjoy food? Now, I'm not saying like go to McDonald's and get a 75-piece nugget meal. No. What if you looked at it at a health aspect? From your mind, from sanity and sustainability. Favorite words of mine. What if you actually got in tune with what your body needed? Not what worked for Susie, and that's what you're going to start on Monday. How is your relationship with food? Does it suck? Do you find yourself diving headfirst into a Ben & Jerry's and a bottle of wine because you had a bad day? Do you find yourself saying, I can't have that because I'm on a diet? And then you hate yourself. And then you're like, well, you know what? One little taste is okay. And then you go through that cycle again. How many times? We need to heal our relationship with food. We need to find food as a nutritional thing. Find the value, the nutritional value in it. I always say, if you're going on a diet to change the size of your clothes or to make a number on a scale, you have missed the overall health and wellness aspect of it. You've missed the complete, you've missed the boat. It's sailed. We have to stop this diet mentality, because I see it so much more in these younger kids, and it is so sad. They don't accept their bodies. They're depriving themselves of something, and these diet shaming cycles are starting earlier and earlier with kids, and eating disorders and all these things are on the rise. It's insane. It's like we're constantly working so hard at sticking with our diet, staying on our diet, not falling off the wagon, beating ourselves up for not doing better or not doing good enough, all while we're on this diet that's supposed to make us better at the end of 30, 60, 90 days, whatever it is. And then if we're not on a diet, we're like, oh, we really should go on a diet because we're getting fat. So really, how is that working for you? How is that crazy MFing cycle working for you? Is it? If it is, great. If it's not, we need to re-examine this thing, because if it really does work, then this whole bullshit of eating less and moving more, we should all be healthy, right? We should all be skinny and thin and look like the freaking models on the magazines, right? If it works, why do we feel like shit? Why do we not have energy? Why are we shaming and hating our bodies? It works though, doesn't it? It doesn't. It doesn't. So how do you break this cycle? We have to regain our power, because it's like we feel like we have this power, like this diet is controlling us. And we have to be like, okay, no, I'm going to control it. I'm going to say what goes. I'm going to listen to my body. You have to make peace with food and have these healthy relationships with food in your body. Because if you don't, you'll continue with that cycle over and over and over again. And you will hate yourself. I promise you. If you love yourself and starting over every Monday, then I hear this all the time. Like, well, I'm going to start over again on Monday. I'm going to go shopping for the food. I'm going to plan out everything. I'm going to lose the weight this time. And then by Wednesday, it's old. And they don't understand what they did wrong. Maybe you're not doing anything wrong. Maybe the diet is what's wrong. Maybe this new diet is what's wrong, and that's what's failing you. You're not failing. So when we make peace with food and have a healthy relationship with our body, this mindset shift happens. And we no longer focus on what's all wrong with us and what's all wrong with not being able to eat this or that. We get in tune with what our body needs. Everybody's different. So the new 90-day fad or the 21-hour cabbage diet isn't going to work for everybody. It's not sustainable, and it certainly is not going to keep you sane. So here's my tips. And you may not like these. This may be unpopular opinion, and I'm okay with that. Number 1, get rid of your scale. Get rid of your scale. Get rid of all these negative influences, like the magazines that you're like, oh, I need to look like her and then my life will be great. Or the websites that you're following that's like, I need to be like this one and then my life will be great. I kind of feel like those, are they really positively influencing you, or are you pissed that you're not making that weight or that you're not looking like that person? Get rid of it. Eliminate this good food, bad food talk. Like, oh, if I eat that, it's bad for my diet. Now, yeah, there's certain foods that are probably not really good for your health, and I get that. But where I'm going is this whole diet mentality stuff. That's bad for me. It doesn't fit into my diet. Are you okay with that? Is that something you're okay with forever? I'm not. So stop the good food, bad food, food police stuff, that kind of stuff. Know when you're really hungry. You know, like, oh, you're really not hungry, just go drink a glass of water, you're just bored. Are you? I don't know. Do you know that? Or is that just what is being told to you when you're on this diet? Like, make sure that you don't eat past this time, and I don't care if you're hungry and passing out, just drink a glass of water. You have to understand what your body needs, because you're not going to get real far if you're malnourished or depriving yourself of certain nutrients. You're not going to feel good. You might look good, but is that really what it's all about? No, it's not. So beware of your feelings. Do you have negative feelings towards food? Like, what is it that's stopping you, that keeps making you, oh, I'm excited, I'm going to lose the weight. And then are you angry because you stepped on a scale 3 days later and you gained 2 pounds? Get rid of the scale. Go back to number 1. Get rid of the scale. We have to change these judgmental thoughts and stress about the food and the diet. And just, diets are stupid. They suck. I hate them. I do not promote them with my clients. And guess what? They still lose weight. Isn't that crazy? Because we find what works for them. Everybody is different. And until we understand that what works for this one may not work for us, we're going to just be stuck in this vicious diet, shame cycle, whatever you want to call it. We have to understand that food is fuel. Food is not something that, and when we're fueling properly, this is what I'm saying. Like, don't think like, oh, she says food is fuel. Donuts are fuel. I mean, maybe they are, but if you're eating a whole box of them a day, good luck with your cholesterol and all that stuff. Again, the health standpoint of it. Fuel properly. We don't put cheap gas in our car, do we? Oh my gosh, some people take better care of their cars than they do of their health, and that makes me sick. It drives me insane. So, focus on the health. Listen to your body. And if you're still in that point where you're like, I just don't even know where to start, there's so much information. We are on this diet information overload. It might be wise to consult an expert or someone who's been there and done that and has overcome. Because getting stuck in this cycle for years and years and years is not fun. It is not fun. I'm not going to say more on that. You know, you have to make it about something that is sustainable, something that's not going to make you go insane, and something that's healthy for you. So I'm going to leave you with this one thing. If you've ever been in this shame cycle or this vicious cycle of dieting, think about, you should be able to feel good about your food choices without feeling deprived. You should be able to know that what you are putting in your body is fueling it properly, and it's healthy. It's something that is giving you energy and giving you life. When we deprive ourselves of it, when we eat less and move more, which, don't get me wrong, in some cases, some people do need that. But when we get stuck in this, oh my gosh, I ate too much. I have to exercise for 700 hours, or tomorrow I can only eat a celery stalk, and I have to do my cardio and do a 2-a-day thing. Is that sustainable for the long haul? So if you're stuck in this cycle and you're not exactly sure, I hope that this kind of gave you some sort of insight into, as I always say, there's another way. There's another way, and finding what works for you is really important. So if you find that you're shaming yourself, please stop now. If you find that you're not sure where to start, message me. If you find that this is helpful information and you want to share it with someone, please feel free to share it. There's going to be a lot more of these truth bombs coming out, a lot more of like, I am not even sorry for saying these things, because this, my friends, is a lot of what I've gone through, and it's time for me to share it with you guys, because I'm a real person too. I am a real person. So that is all I have for you today. I hope that you're able to break up with this vicious diet cycle that maybe some of you have been on. It's not a very fun roller coaster to be on. I hope you've been able to take baby steps towards, hey, I just want to be healthy. And then maybe weight loss comes as a side effect of that. It's kind of a cool side effect. Like we're all on this medication that has all these terrible side effects, but what if you loved your body? And what if you nourished your body properly? And what if you didn't have body shaming? And then all of a sudden, you were focusing on that, and you didn't realize, because you tossed the scale out, that you lost weight. And that you felt better. And that you had more energy. And that you liked what you saw in the mirror. What if all of a sudden that changed without you focusing and going through this vicious cycle of dieting? What if that changed for you? How would your life be? That's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for hopping on. We will chat later, and until next time, stay well.